Hey everyone, it's Greg here, and in this video what I want to do is kind of give you an overview for 2015, something where we have kind of everything in one place for what's working now. I want to go over local sites, alright, what's working for local sites, what's working for affiliate sites, what's working for EMDs, been ranking them pretty easily lately, and then also some changes that have been going on with on-page, okay? Before it was like, we could really focus pretty much everything on our anchor text and URL combinations, the optimization between that. Whereas now on page is becoming a lot more important. So I'll go into those changes and what I'm seeing with that as well. I've had a virus for like a month, so I may be coughing like that every once in a while into the mic. I apologize for that, but I wanted to get this video out. I'll try to mute my mic when I do that, but I just apologize ahead of time for coughing. I can't even help it. Alright, so for local sites, it seems like Google has really swung towards more and more they're moving towards ranking sites easier that are Google My Business verified. I mean, it makes sense to me. If I was Google, I would do it. If a business is willing to put in the time to get verified and they care about their business, then I'm going to give them more of a chance of ranking. Whereas a site, for example, if someone like an affiliate marketer puts up like a lead gen, it's not a real business, I don't want to give them as good of a chance of ranking, So, if it is an affiliate site and they get a virtual address and they verify it that way, at least that tells me they're somewhat serious about what they do. They're not. Google's rankings aren't going to be filled with like ugly sites that don't really give the visitor much. For example, I would do a lot of local sites before where I would just put up generic content, rank the site, and then once it's ranking, I would change it. So, them moving towards this really helps prevent that type of thing from happening. All right, so for local sites, the way that I would start is I would get Google My Business verified, and if you have a real client, you can use their business address, or if you're doing a lead gen type thing, you can use a virtual office or something like that. That way, you get that trust right off the bat. All right. Now, after you have that trust, you can start doing citations, and citations and being in the Google My Business will allow you to rank in the maps, which is going to get you a lot more traffic. So, and on top of that, you can send links to your citation properties like Yelp and SlideShare and stuff like that. And not only can you rank those and blanket the first page, but that's a form of DaaS where you'll also power up your money site because those properties are linking to your money site. So, I mean, just starting that way, there's no reason not to. And also, it seems like for local especially, Google is really leaning more towards branded anchor text, which is like URL links, company name, stuff like that. They're really liking more of that in there. So that allows you to just do all of those things right off the bat. You're Google My Business verified. You got that trust. From there, you can do citations, and you can start ranking in the maps. You can rank your citations, in the organic results, which will also power the money site. And I mean, it's just all around. It's just it's a way to go right now. All right. Now, it depends on the competition, but for some markets, you're going to be ranked where you want to be just by doing that. But if you're not, what I'll do is I'll send some PBNs with keyword optimized anchor text, and that will help really identify what your site's about even more and kind of help solidify rankings for those keywords. Because with the citations and all that, you're getting a lot of branded anchor text, and they can pull the relevance from the on-page stuff of the citations and stuff like that. But to really help solidify what your site's about, like if you're in a more competitive market, you can use PBNs or DaaS with PBNs to really help solidify your site. Like for example, if you're doing Dallas plumbers, that's pretty competitive. And most of the top sites, they have just tons of citations done the correct way, and you're kind of battling with citations. You can get the advantage by doing some PBNs or some DaaS with keyword optimized anchor text, and Google will pull from your anchor text that it's going to help you win that battle because you have keyword optimized anchor text that says Dallas plumbers in Dallas, Dallas, Texas plumbers, and that's what's going to help you win that battle. Of course, the unique IPs and the domain authority you get from the PBNs or the domain authority stacking you do with that keyword optimized anchor text. That's going to kind of give you the edge in most cases. So that's the way I would approach it: is get Google My Business verified, and then from there do your citations. You can start sending links to your citations if you want to blanket the first page, and then from there you can start sending PBNs or DAS or both, depending on how competitive the niche is. All right, so that's how I'd approach. That's how I'm approaching local sites right now. For my local sites that aren't Google My Business Verified, I'm definitely having more trouble ranking them. It's something that's happening, and I mean, you can still do citations, but it doesn't make as much sense to do them when you're not Google My Business Verified. So all that stuff is playing a part in local. For affiliate, honestly, I haven't seen much change, except that now that we know more about DAS, we can also use DAS in kind of in concurrence with PBNs. All right, you can add in a little more generic anchor text with your, or I'm sorry, like branded keyword anchor text with your affiliate stuff, because Google is liking branded anchor text even a little more for affiliate, it seems like. And let me actually bring up a notepad to show you what I mean. Let me pause for 1 second. Alright, also give me a chance to cough a little bit. Hopefully I got some of that out. Alright, so what I mean by, like branded plus keyword is stuff like if you had KaleCast.com, which is an e-cig site, and you're doing a page trying to rank for like electronic cigarette reviews, you can do stuff like that. So I'm mixing in some more stuff like this, where I include the domain name plus a keyword, and it seems like Google's really liking that. But I mean, other than that, I'm doing a lot of the same stuff that we show in the sink or swim section, where I'm using keyword optimized anchor text. I'm just kind of switching it around a lot. You can check out the sink or swim method if you haven't seen that. It's an important section. But I'm also mixing in more of this type of stuff, like domain name, keyword, or even like, find, if I'm going after like electronic cigarette brands, stuff like that, even without the .com. So I'll be doing stuff like that more often. But I mean, other than that, not much has changed with affiliate. And then of course, getting your social involved, like Network Empire shows with setting up Facebook, Twitter, and all that type of stuff. It just helps show that, again, you care about the site. You have social properties for it, so all that stuff can help as well. But as far as anchor text and stuff like that, not much has changed with affiliate sets. I'm just adding in a little more stuff like this, and then I've always really done the Facebook and Twitter and stuff for my most important sites, so not much has changed for that. For EMDs, I've been ranking EMDs pretty easily lately. I want to show you. I did a video on this, but in case anyone missed it, this is, if you want to see what's working for an EMD, go and look up a well-known brand like Best Buy, and I'm going to show you kind of, we'll do an example, and I'll show you what I model. Like when I'm doing my my EMD, I model it kind of after their anchor text, okay? So what do you see here? You see the actual domain name the most, and then like URL, domain name with no spaces, URL here, and then you see a lot, a good amount of generic stuff. And then what I've been using a lot is stuff like this, okay, like domain name plus word, domain name plus word, domain name plus word, domain name words, domain name dash words, domain name dash words. Again, I've been doing this a lot with affiliate as well, but for EMDs it works very good because it helps solidify you as a brand for that keyword. That's basically telling Google, customer service at Best Buy, holiday gift center at Best Buy. Like when Best Buy is in the anchor text that much, but it's not all exact, it seems like they're giving a ton of credit for that brand name. Like you're never going to outrank Best Buy for Best Buy. So like when I'm doing my EMDs, how I duplicate that is, let's say we have like, and it's kind of like what we were doing before, but I'll implement it that way a little more. So if we had NashvilleSEO.com, here's an example of some anchor text that I might use for this. I might start with a URL link. And one thing is, even though their highest is the actual main keyword, I would stay away from that for a little bit. Using it that much, like they got it for 33% for the referring domains. I wouldn't use it that much off the bat. You can work your way towards that if it's a really competitive keyword, but I wouldn't like start off with that right away, because I would build some trust before you use that. Okay, that's just me. The reason they can get away with that high is they have a higher domain authority and they've kind of built that trust. So I might do like a URL link off the bat. That's just if you want to be safe. You can skip that if you want. Now you can do something like, best Nashville. All right. So you basically got the keyword, but with an LSI version. Sorry, this cough is just horrible. But again, I just want to get you this video. And then from there, you can start using, your, like what we saw, Nashville SEO, marketing services. And for these additional keywords, these additional words, you can use stuff that you're trying to rank for. So, if I was trying to rank for like web design as well on this page, you could put in like web design. Now you can use this to your advantage, not only rank for Nashville SEO and kind of solidify yourself as a brand, but also rank for whatever words you're using in addition. Okay, so it's pretty cool how you can really manipulate that. And then from here, again, if you want to be safe, you can throw in something like click here. And, what I pulled that from is, right here. They got some of their top generic is stuff like click here, link, website. So, I could have done any of those. I could have done like website. So I'm just kind of modeling after BestBuy.com, which is a well-known brand, and what's working for them anchor text-wise. All right, so now I can go back to, let's see. What I'm trying to think of is something that has where Nashville SEO is in the middle. So maybe like find Nashville SEO services. Okay. And then from there, maybe we could do a URL link, do another different version without the HTTP in there. And then from there, you can probably hit Nashville SEO by itself. We've kind of built up enough trust where we haven't used that yet, so we can start using it. Whoops. You undo that. There we go. Of course, I'm just acting like we're not ranked where we'd probably be ranked where we want to be by now. But if we're not, you might go back to, we use website up here. We can use something generic again. Click here, and then we can go back to Nashville SEO service. If you're trying to rank for Nashville SEO service plus Nashville SEO, it's going to hit both of them, and just stuff like that. I mean, just kind of use stuff like Best Buy as a model, where you can see what they, a whole bunch, like, brand name and then products, brand name, products. And we're doing the same thing. We're doing brand name, services, brand name, services we provide, stuff like that. All right. So that's what's been working very well for me for affiliate. But I wouldn't do like everyone like Nashville dash, service like that. Do some stuff like this where you have it kind of in between some words. They like seeing that. And then even stuff without the dash, Nashville SEO service. And this is very similar to how we did Nashville SEO and why it ranked so well. This just kind of gives backup proof and kind of more of a a visual model that you can follow with EMD type domains. Okay. All right, so that's for EMDs. Let's go over on-page changes. Let me cough a couple times before I get into this. All right, so for on-page, let's go to a new screen here. What I've been seeing is your on-page is a lot more important now. Okay, the first thing, and we've announced this before, but I want to make sure it's in this video because it's very important. If a keyword is not on your page, you're not going to rank for it. I've even had cases where I'll have a version of a keyword on a page and I'll rank for that keyword. For example, let's say OMG Machines Review. Okay, I'll rank fine for OMG Machines Review, but if I didn't have reviews with an S on the reviews, then I wouldn't rank anywhere for OMG Machines Reviews with an S on the end, which is crazy. You think that Google would be able to, you think that they would at least give you some credit, at least be ranked on the second or third page. But I've had cases where if I don't have the exact keyword on the page, I'm not ranking for that keyword. Okay, so like if I have, this is my content from my site. This is going to allow me to rank, sorry, for OMG Machines Review. But if I don't have the actual word reviews with an S on here, I might not rank anywhere for this. And I've seen cases of this, where I'll rank #1 for this, but I literally would be nowhere to be found for OMG Machines Reviews because I didn't have reviews on my page. All right. It's funny, one of my sites was doing this, and I was talking to Sue Bell about it, and I was just showing her this stuff, and she was like, do me a favor and put that word. So, for example, let's say it was this. She would be like, put reviews in the alt tag of an image and see what happens. So I actually put reviews in the alt tag of an image. I had an image on the page, clicked edit for the alt text or whatever it is. I put in reviews or like OMG Machines Reviews or whatever it would be. And within a few days, it was ranking #1. So it went from nowhere to be found to #1 once I added this to the alt, the alt text of an image. So that was pretty cool to see. And I've had other cases where, I have a site and I can't figure out, like, I'll be ranking for, let's say, like, I'm going after like OMG Machines Review and OMG Machines Ratings. So I'm going after both these keywords. This one would be much easier because it's not as ratings isn't as popular as review. Yet I'm ranking for this, or I'm sorry. How do I want to lay this out? OMG Machines. Wish I could use a real example, but I can't give that site. Alright, I'm not sure how to explain this exactly. Alright, so the keyword, I had a keyword that I was ranking for that was more competitive. Like, they were very similar words. Like, this word and these are very similar, I guess. Now, you would expect, they're kind of synonyms. But anyways, I was ranking for the more competitive word, but not anywhere for this one, even though I had it on the page. Like, I had OMG Machines Ratings on the page. But I was ranking very well for this one and then not very well at all for this one. I couldn't figure out why. And one thing I ended up seeing was this version was actually in an H1 tag. So that's what seemed to make the difference for that one. I ended up putting this one in an H1 tag as well, and it shot up. So I never really paid attention to like H1 tags and all that stuff before, but now that stuff's becoming more important. And also, pay more attention to your keyword density. James Upjohn shot some videos. I'm not sure if they're in the members area yet, but the main gist of it is look at the top 10 sites that are ranking for your keyword and see what their anchor text is. Do like make a list. What is their keyword density for the keyword they're ranking for? Is it in H1 tag? Just is it in the title? Like the main things that we look at, is it in the URL? Make a list of the main things we look at, yes or no, percentages for keyword density and all that type of stuff, and to see what they're using and model after them. Google can't hide what's working as far as that. So, if you're confused exactly what to use, just look at the top sites and see what they're doing as far as on page. Make sure you take into account their backlinks, because remember, the more, like, if you're over optimized on page, the less you can get away with your anchor text. So, if you have a whole bunch of keyword optimized anchor text, the less you're going to get away with on page. A lot of my sites on page, I keep my keyword density very, very low. For example, if I'm trying to rank for OMG Machines review, and I have a 1,000-word article, I might have it in there 2-3 times, maybe. I mean, not that many. You don't need it in that many. So that's what we're seeing, with the changes with on page is you have to pay more attention to your content now. Before I would kind of just throw up generic content and just rank it well with anchor text and URL. Now you have to pay a lot more attention to the on page. Make sure you're not, because I've had sites again where it's generically written, and I won't be ranking. I'll be like, what the heck is going on? And I'll finally go and look at my on page because I'm just not used to paying so much attention to that yet. And when I go and look at it, I'll notice I'm over optimized for the keyword. I'll bring it down, and within a couple weeks I'll come back because again I was over optimized for the words on the page. All right, so on page changes, just pay more attention to your keyword density and your H1 tags and stuff like that. And remember, you can throw, like, if a keyword, an exact keyword is not on a page, you're going to have a lot more trouble ranking for it, all right? And in some cases, you might not rank for it at all, even if it's the difference between review and reviews, just an S on the end. And I've seen it with a site. And again, I've had that site where I added it into the image alt tag, and having that, because Google looks at the code, they don't look at your site. So, when they came to my site and they saw the code and they now saw reviews somewhere on the page, they allowed me to rank for that. All right, so I mean, it was crazy to me, but that's what happened. So remember, you can also use your image alt tags, or I mean, any way to get the keyword in there is going to work. I'm even playing with stuff like putting keywords in the image alt tag and seeing if it helps it rank better, even if it's on the page. Stuff like that, and I'll update on that once I'm done testing with that type of stuff. So let me check and make sure I got everything, and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, okay. One more thing that I wanted to cover was we're seeing the patterns in action that Jimmy found a little while ago, where it was something like, if a keyword doesn't get many searches, you're not going to get away with pounding that anchor text. Let me give you an example. So I was doing a test on a site. Let's just say like Wilmington, Delaware plumbers. It was something like that. Delaware plumbers. So they're going after like Delaware plumbers, Wilmington, Delaware plumbers. Plumbers in Wilmington, Delaware. Plumbers in Delaware, stuff like that. All right. And I did maybe 10 links or so, and since Wilmington's a fairly small area, 75,000 people, something like that, I think I had maybe 3 or 4 anchor texts that had Wilmington, Delaware plumbers in it, or plumbers in Wilmington, Delaware, out of 10. And Google saw that as too much, and what happened, it's crazy, it makes sense, but since, what they were saying was, okay, what happened was I was ranking still very well for Delaware plumbers and plumbers in Delaware, all right? So let's say these are my keywords I was going after, and let's say the anchor text I did was like this. I did all these for exact keywords, and I did, find Wilmington, Delaware plumbers. Whoops. Knew that looked weird. Then, Delaware plumbing, Wilmington, Delaware plumbing, the plumbing company, stuff like that. Let's say, or services. Let's say this is the anchor text to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I probably did something like that. Okay, so these are the keywords I'm going after. Something like that. And then this is the anchor text I use. 8 different links, and they all said this. What happened was I was ranking very well for Delaware plumbers, but nowhere to be found for Wilmington, Delaware plumbers, or like plumbers in Wilmington, Delaware, or anything like that. And the reason is, with this new patent, Google is basically saying, a site wouldn't naturally be getting this much anchor text with Wilmington, Delaware plumbers in it because it doesn't get searched that much. Not that many people are searching for Wilmington, Delaware plumbers, whereas a good amount more are searching just for Delaware plumbers, because it's a bigger word. So they basically kind of penalized me in a way for this version of the keyword, but the tougher version they gave me credit for, because the chances of this being in the anchor text that much are much greater than having Wilmington in there. So that's also another thing to be careful of, is if it's a city location, be careful of using that too much in your anchor text. And again, for local, it's a good reason to use citations right off the bat, because you can get a lot of that branded anchor text, and it's going to actually send you to the top or near the top for these, and you're probably only going to need one keyword optimized anchor text for that to rank any more than you already, if you're number 3, having just one link like this will send you up to number 1 for that keyword. So that's another good reason to use citations as well. You can sway away from using that too much and kind of falling into that new pattern where if it's a keyword that isn't likely to get that many searches and you're using it too much, they're not going to rank you for that keyword. All right. But I just thought it was it's interesting because I'm ranking for the more competitive one, but this less competitive one I'm not ranking anywhere, and that's kind of that patent in action there. So that's the last thing I have for you. Hopefully that kind of sums up everything with local affiliate EMDs and on-page changes. Sorry about the coughing. I wanted to get this video out. Can't help coughing right now, but I think that does it. All right. So if there's any questions, I'll make another update video, but this should cover it, and I'll see you all soon.